have thrown any spanners in the works here as far as what Nongshim wanted to do. Aiming going to lock away the Xayah. The last pick Xayah often feels like it just falls flat.
Yeah, I will say though, this is a situation
of DK. Doesn't work out too badly. Some pretty, I guess, subdued play by DK early on in this game. As Hook is going to come on through, headbutt, gets Lehens out of there. Giu wanting to follow up as the Glacial Prison connects. A level 5 Alistar cannot do anything about the situation. And Kingen are moving up though. And there is an equalizer to be put down. There it goes. Calyx moving on in as Lucid throws down the ulti. That's trying to get rid of them as Beryl, now level 6, does have the ulti running. And the ultimate from Calyx is so good. Lucid just goes down and Beryl has absolutely nowhere to go. That's going to be 3 kills for Nongshim in this early game. They don't get the Drake, but who can? In solo queue necessarily, or the leads in lane don't really translate here into these first objective fights as the flash comes out, but still the Glacial Prison comes through. Max range on the Hook as well as Gideon is low, but Lucid's gonna be lower, and that looks like tilt to me, ladies and gentlemen. The flash forward, good knock up there as Lehens may trade. Beryl comes over. Could it actually be a kill? In response, the answer is yes, but I don't think it's worth.
But you're still playing into Rumble, who still has all that team fighting power, and eventually just gets to the point where he's able to manhandle the lane. Yeah.
And the problem in my mind is that I feel like Nongshim's composition still looks good later on into the game, as now Beryl finds a headbutt pole. Can we get a Rune Prison down? That's going to be the question, as the trample going to keep him in place. And so there goes the Kai'Sa. Find as much impact has been a problem, as now Beryl is going to discover Lehens and Gideon. Nice little double knock up here, but I just don't think it's going to be enough as he just gets held in place. Calyx is going to come on over with the extra damage. And yeah, he is just swept up and destroyed. Well, that's a good old flash in from Lehens. Aiming, tries to get himself out of there, but a Glacial Prison in response.
Timing, it just came up in support of Gideon and Lehens, and adding Calyx to the mix, into the mix, and they're just finding so much success.
Yep, Lehens and Gideon able to be a bodyguard for his mid laner and jungle. Giu going to come on over, and that is going to mean the Rift Herald does go down. I picked up. Be walking towards aiming here. I don't know about that one. Does lose out on that trade, but the Rift Herald coming on through. That is going to be some driving by Lehens. He did go for the turret, so maybe that license needs to be revoked, as he's just thrown into 3 members of DK and put in the bouncy castle. He will be able to dredge line the wall. They're trying to give the kill over to Aiming. That's why he's surviving for so long, and I believe Aiming will be able to do so. Titan's Wrath coming on through there as he does find the wall once again. Why? Do we need to use the ulti there?
Like I said, I was a little bit surprised they went for the top tower, but also going for the second charge. Very ambitious, and now it's just going to get traded back, so...
Oh, Realm Warp going to come on through here from Showmaker. Decides not to actually follow it, as the trading turrets will sidestep from Beryl as they spot out what's going on. Knock up onto the cow. Let's see whether DK can actually make something happen here. Glacial Prison comes down as Lucid. I mean, it could have been a steal, but it isn't, as it's Gideon that locks that one up. Now Beryl gets a headbutt back onto Calyx. He's the target, and he's going to get wiped out. It's a decent equalizer, but no follow-up here on the side of Nongshim, as now they're running for the hills. Lehens in trouble as well, and oh no, Otacon, a tale as old as time.
Kind of like, oh, do we really want to take this fight? If it's Ruinous, it's like, absolutely, we want to secure all the petals on the ground, so...
Respond with a Baron attempt or something like that, as Lucid looking to come on over. He's not going to be able to steal this, so instead they're just voyeurs watching it as it goes down, threading the needle onto Showmaker there with the Glacial Prison. The equalizer not really doing too much, no real engage here from Nongshim, as in goes Lucid to look for his opportunity. 2-man Pulverize comes through as well, as Lehens has to get out of there, and Nongshim are all split. Lehens goes down first, but Nongshim are now able to take this out of turret mid.
Nongshim, I think, just give it up. But honestly, I think D+ are kind of upset with how that
didn't actually matter last time either, as all of them grouped up for this. And now the Baron completely out of vision. Hook going to connect here as the immediate turn from Nongshim, and they blow up Showmaker. Aiming is free hitting, trying to find the targets. They just move back into the fog of war once again, and it's now Beryl's turn to face check. The map is so incredibly dark as another equalizer comes down. The amount of value here from Kingen is massive, but Aiming as well. That Featherstorm keeping him safe, and Shiu flashing forward, getting out so many flashes from Nongshim. And DK just can't quite find the fights they're looking for, but they have been able to kill some of these stragglers as Lehens finally comboed down, and Shiu getting the kill under the Nautilus once again. Now the knock up as Calyx looking for him, but he has to go back to that soul. So unable to actually complete the kill. Man, this is all of these skirmishes feel like they're neck and neck.
So much so, just ebb and flow constantly of team trying to find that little advantage. Now looking for something here.
Yep, Calix goes in, gets the knock up on aiming, and he's wiped out. The flame spinner value gigantic as well as Calix back in amongst it once again. Lucid goes down, and there's a real fight win for Nongshim, and their reward will be a Baron.
When it comes to the battle of attrition, it's Nongshim who win out. The lack of ult on aiming and the fact he didn't end up using his flash does cost them massively.
One of his better champions, but Calix piloting it incredibly well here today. As the inner turret falls down, utilizing this Baron really effectively. Lucid tanking up the Void Seeker. Can they actually get the soul? That's going to be the question as Lucid gets into the pit, and he is going to be able to take it away. In the meantime, Void Prison onto Lehens, but Beryl may just be dead. He flashes away and gets into the Realm Warp. That was sick from the cow. He's still burning down, but he is not going to die, so that is just a heist.
D+ super happy with that. You know, again, it's not the strongest soul, but you'll absolutely take it as a bit of a boost to try and make up for this discrepancy in combat power. And the fact they got out without losing anyone in that situation, more than happy. And on top of that, Showmaker aiming, retain their summoners.
Whoa,
the Lucid.
There's a big old ultimate as Calix has gone in. Hasn't actually unbound the soul, and he just kills him. Never mind, he did.
Any armor pen yet. And that Sejuani is tanky.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, a full rotation of abilities from Shiu or Showmaker aren't going to kill Gideon. And aiming doesn't have that armor pen yet.
3 minutes until the Elder is on the table.
I mean, one of the things is with the Ocean Soul, D+ can kind of get low. That is the lose con at this point, is D+ get an Elder.
This is a little dangerous. Glacial Prison comes in, but once again, not a lot of follow-up as Beryl in that front line is at 50%, but he's otherwise not too worried about it. The fight over Baron Vision continues. Lehens finds the anchor as there's a knockup onto Gideon. He's actually taking a lot of damage here, but into the backline goes Calix. Huge ulti from Lehens, but aiming with the Featherstorm. Giu takes that as his opportunity to go in, but he's going to explode. He goes golden and down goes aiming. It's Calix once again who's the answer, and this time Showmaker actually has the arm guard. And Shiu, is it finally his moment to get something done on this Aurora as Calix between a rock and a hard place, as we like to say here in the LCK, but he's dodging a lot. The soul is unbound, but then removed from his body.
And now the team just goes straight onto the Baron. This is huge, a massive influx of gold. 2 minutes away from Elder. Let's see how this
on this map. Shiu discovered by a control ward, though he will be able to clear that one out as Beryl just providing the only target that Nongshim can look for. They have to give away their position as Calix in this pit. Still just 1v1ing the Dragon right now as Lucid's going to pop on in. Beryl just wanting to get Gideon out of there. Now Calix finds the ulti onto 2 into that backline, is aiming, just trying to get rid of him. Calix taking a lot of damage. Beryl gets a 3-man pull, but there goes the Elder. DK have done it. They found the angle. Lucid's able to take down the Yone, and Kingen, he's still scary, but as soon as he comes out of being golden, he is dead. And DK will find the ace, and this will be the end of the game. 38 minutes. Nongshim in control the whole time until they weren't.
They only got a gold lead at the end of the game. They've only just overtaken Nongshim, but they clutch the fight. Lucid finds the smite, and D+ come out on top. What an error from Nongshim there. And ultimately, Shiu's positioning. The fact that the Elder got low, you can see Calix trying to stack up his Q on it, and they just got it too low too quickly. At the end of the day, Lucid clutches those.
Yeah, and this is part of the big test for DK because they have been the team that has just fallen over.
80 carry.
Oh,
right?
Dear.
You're playing Kalista into Talia Poppy, and you're playing Varus into Nico Wukong Ari.
Yeah, aiming and Giu just
Neela strategy. That was rage a bit. I'll explain it after we see what happens here.
Oh, that piercing arrow missing is kind of crazy, but that heroic charge, that is going to land, and then Nimbus Strike has already been taken, so Lucid's just dead.
I think Gideon's actually coming over, which I think might be a mistake.
Yeah, they will see that he oh, that was a little bit cute as Lehens does manage to go up into the sky, gets back down onto a minion, is now Lucid, able to get on over there. No heroic charge to take the kill, but Calix is in position, aiming, wanting to kill Giu as well, as Beryl just trying to be annoying. Can aiming find a Renset? That's the question. The answer is no, just barely unable to get the kill onto the Poppy.
Oh, close. but it is Nongshim who come out clean on this one. And a Callisto falling behind like this, never what you want.
Yep, absolute disaster. This is also not looking super great, but there is some webs down. Lucid gonna need that Q, and he does find it. The extended range helping out as there is the Tangle Barbs.
For a moment in the 80 carries.
Gideon thinking about just walking up and trying to kill Shiu. Let's see whether that works. As the Cyclone comes down, there's the ultimate, and it's not going to find the mark. Another Cyclone going to be used as now Kingen taking a lot of damage. And Showmaker, he wants to kill Gideon, and he'll get exactly what he wants. Morning Mist not going to land, but Lucid certainly will. And DK...
I'm happy with this trade. 6 grubs, and they only get the first dragon. You're fine with that.
Yep.
You know, I feel like... Actually, Lucid's just resetting, so... Not even going for it? And the thing is with dragons, the later the first dragon is taken, the lower value dragons are. Because the chance of soul is just
out from aiming. Who then
Kingen
just rends as Kingen is not going to get knocked up until now. Ghouliewall comes in and he's in the Thunderdome. Down he goes, and Shiu's going to be able to lock down that kill. Nicely played by DK.
Yeah, I think it will be Shiu winning that race.
I mean, it's 2 on the top side, but it's also 2 in the bottom lane, isn't it? Because there's the Maiden there as well. There it goes.
Yeah. So, D-Plus, pretty happy with how things have panned out in the past few minutes, considering how badly this game started. Now, Gideon trying to take the Raptors here, but maybe just get them.
Yep.
Oh, no, not again.
It is. Oh, golly. Okay, well, Ghouliewall, if you use it against the wall like that, it does become a little bit difficult as Lucid able to use his Warrior Trickster, but good hold on the Hammer Boot from Kingen. As Maiden, save it, save it! Oh, thank goodness Shiu is okay. Calyx is what they have to deal with now. As flash out from Lucid, Seismic Shove pulls him back, and now Gideon comes on forward. They even take down the...
In general, we haven't seen much of from D-Plus. Now look for Jiwoo.
Yeah, now we're going to see it, as Jiwoo going to take a lot of damage. Yeah, Rend won't need too many stacks here, as there it is, aiming able to take it down. I think that was a last hit Pierce. Nicely played, as Jiwoo invests everything and still dies. Showmaker connects another nice charm. Calyx actually taking a lot of damage here. The threaded volley, uncancelable, of course. As Showmaker trying to get himself out of the way, and it does not work. Thought that he had the timer on that steadfast presence, but instead stuns himself up and will go down.
Lucid looking, does manage to feel it out and disengage from the situation.
Oh, the flash steadfast presence is beautiful there onto Lucid. Does manage to Warrior Trickster, but I still don't think he's getting out of this one. The wall is going to come through, and the Pop Blossom picks up one. Gideon going to be held in position, and Shiu, he teleported in. That should mean that they are able to at least get Gideon there, so for themselves. That is going to mean feats of strength over to Nongshim as well. As DK, they are laser focused on taking dragons. Because it worked in the last game, right, Orcs?
It paid off, you know? It was a winning strategy, some would say. Haha, they won, and it was a strategy.
Yeah. And you can't really argue with that. That is called outcome-focused assessment. I learned from Daniel Orcs Harrison that is the best way to assess outcomes.
It's the best way, you know? See what happens and then judge based on that.
Yeah. Foolproof. Absolutely. As Beryl says over a few times, and now aiming, possibly caught out of position. Chains of Corruption connects onto him, but Lucid comes on over, and Jiwoo may have overstepped. That's a flash. They are fully committing to that one. And down Jiwoo will go. No real response as the rest of Nongshim. Never mind. Kingen just darting on top of aiming, and there goes both 80 carries in an instant. Kingen taking matters into his own hands here as the Shock Blast is decent. Pop Blossom going to connect onto Gideon and Calyx, but Beryl is going to die immediately, and Lucid cannot do anything about it. Lehens will get taken out, and some Essence to give Showmaker some health back, but the buckler to the noggin, and that secures the kill. Gideon is a force to be reckoned with. Oh, Deadman's played as well.
Yeah, you just decapitate people with the buckler.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Phase Rush and Deadman's, like, you are running so fast. Kind of ridiculous. As there it is. Aiming's like, it gives gold when it dies, guys. Quickly!
He was convinced it didn't take much.
It's time to start it up as the turret is going to be taken down in mid lane. The inner is actually secured. And now Calyx getting on over to the rest of the team. Weaver's Wall put up as Beryl. Oh, he wants that Pop Blossom angle. There is a decent one there as Shiu puts down the Ghoulie Wall just to buy some space. As fake Beryl goes in. That's just going to be a steal on a silver platter. Nongshim just walk in and take it away. Pop Blossom onto 2. I don't know whether it's going to be enough, though, as they might send Calyx home, but they don't even manage to do that. Still, they have everyone here, and one of the withdrawals has been sent out. Lucid trying to escape. Another withdrawal going to come through there is now Gideon, the one that's in trouble, one after the other. They are picking them up, and the Drake could just distract DK for long enough to let Nongshim get out.
And I mean, I think D+ happy to just take the dragon.
Jiwoo, why are we I don't know why we're there. It's a silly Billy maneuver, perhaps, as, yeah, the barrier is not going to save you, as the shoveler will come after you. Calyx has teleported in, and he hasn't actually used his one yet, as now Gideon just, what the heck was that damage? Absolutely absurd, but also absolutely absurd reason to go in. There wasn't quite one. As now Xiu trying to get on top of King, and who has a lot of damage, wants to do what he did in the mid lane. For Baron. That is what's happening. Seismic shove, not going to find Beryl.
I mean, if Gideon finds Lucid, there we go.
Okay, yeah, Lucid's just out of there. Lehens may die, but for the good of the colony, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there's too many conditionals.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we can do is we can do some outcome-focused assessments, and whoever gets the dragon, it was a 100% chance they were going to get it because they got it.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
I also think it's 100%. Okay, Lucid over the wall there as Gideon possibly out of position as the goalie wall is going to. Oh no, he gets a taxi out by Xiu, but Gideon will finally go down. Fate's Call is aiming, wanting to find more. Calyx going to get knocked up as Showmaker dives forward. Beryl is just dead though, so it's a 1-for-1. Lucid finds Lehens in the back line, so they do lose their support as well, but Aiming's also dead, and Kingan's a raid boss. The rest of Nongshim, with their Baron and 6 grubs, are still just going to take an inhibitor here off the back end of the fight.
I think the pick on a Gideon was fantastic. And you could have just stopped there. You know, they threw Beryl in at 10 HP. I know he probably was calling for it, but
yeah,
still.
no, that was his choice. He could have pressed the other direction. As now Xiu just thrown around like a ragdoll and destroyed. To the skies goes Kingan, but it's actually Yorick that goes to the skies for real. As now Beryl finds the angle. Oh, the charm for the finish off is now Jiu looking for it. But Beryl, he's got flash. He tries to get away. DK just desperately trying to hold on to their base. As one inhibitor still taken down, so still a good push here by Nongshim. But DK, I'm not going to game.
I feel like Nongshim just saw champions in front of them.
Oh god.
How are we here?
We're fighting around Otacon, the second spawn of the invisible Otacon. That's what we're doing, Ox. We're looking for that. As Weaver's Wall going to come in. That charm gorgeous there. Onto Kingan. He's going to be a big target, but Lucid likely to just be taken out. But that was the clone that fell down there. Now DK biding their time, standing strong as Pop Blossom still up for Beryl. Absolutely deadly. These health bars relatively low on the side of Nongshim as DK just trying to walk it off.
He's trying to recall so he can TP back in. His ult is coming back quickly. Remember, this is that Malignance Ahri.
Yeah.
He gets back with ultimate. He could clean up so well, so Nongshim is starting the dragon quickly.
Down to 50% now. I don't think DK are going to quite get there in time as the teleport just brings Showmaker in. There goes the dragon. The first one here for Nongshim. As the rest of DK now looking on.
Big spike.
And Nongshim will be able to take down this turret. But can DK find it? Gee, what are we doing there? As it's a face-off.
I think if the Maiden takes a shock blast every minute, it'll survive.
Oh, there's the Pop Blossom, connects onto only one. Lehens goes up into the sky, but he comes down exactly where he doesn't want to be. Keeper's Verdict comes on through as Beryl is just dead. A trade of supports, but down goes the Yorick as well. Kingan does so much damage. Steadfast Presence comes through from Gideon. He just wipes up the remaining carries of DK. And Nongshim, they do not want to repeat of game number 1. This time, they really want to wipe out DK, and that team fight did exactly that.
I think they held their nerve. King get a lot of value on this Jace, and they don't make those same mistakes as last time. They don't start up the objectives and just let Lucid slide in and steal it. And Nongshim holds strong in this game. Definitely a messy one. This is never going to be a clean series.
Yeah. Sylas.
I'm feeling pretty D+ favored right now. Very D+ favored.
Sylas was always a bit of an awkward choice into the Syndra because your ultimate will always do less damage.
Yeah, and also there's just not that many good ultimates.
Yeah, it doesn't have like the I now have a Glacial Fissure that works like a Equalizer or anything like that. As now we got some heals traded. Geo just walking at them. Beryl almost just dies.
Calculated.
I guess so, but now Lehens is going to get the flash as Pix is going to help out. And Beryl, how did we not see that that was going to happen? as Lucid will be able to send this one away, as Calix could be in trouble, but Lehens moves up, and Showmaker is just dead. Gideon just does a pirouette. I don't think. That will be...
Would be good if they got something else, though.
Yeah. So if you're going to waste time over here, maybe go for something is the option. Public Execution going to connect. The bullet time comes down, and aiming is executed. Feats of Warfare in an instant. And Nongshim... see whether all of those orbs are picked up, but I don't think they are. I think it's exactly as you say, as okay, there's a flash in from Lucid. Gets the Impale there as well. And Calix does get healed up. The Wild Growth helping out, but not helping out enough. As Tempered Fate will keep Showmaker alive for a little while longer, but timed really nicely here is Gideon, as Beryl comes in, avoids one of those pirouettes as he gets slammed into the wall, and Quick Beryl electrocute harder as there's a solo kill from Gwen. That did what it said on the tin, absolutely. And Gideon also...
gonna feel fun.
All right, Lucid thinking about going for a gank onto Kingen here, as Gideon's gonna come down. Oh, the Public Execution is blocked! But still, Kingen's able to use it to get out, and now Teleport is coming in. The Impale just drags the Lilia away, but he's walking towards Jiu, and unfortunately for Lucid, it's just a sacrifice of his own life. That will equal a Dragon for Nongshim at the same time, as Showmaker looking to try and at least get some side lane pressure in here. But DK, it feels like they're trading down.
Felt like an unforced error, honestly. And the problem with going for a flank angle onto an Ambassador is it gives you an exit route. You know,
he'll once again for Nongshim, the translation of this jungle advantage into objectives, into map control is absolutely apparent. There it goes. Through. Gideon is playing aggressively and will get slammed into the wall. See where the Lucid gets sleepy, as that is a lot of damage. Wild Growth going to work out though, as Gideon gets the heal, gets himself out as their scat of the week. We'll see whether Lehens is going to be the target. Tempered Fate buys some space. As Lehens, the needlework comes in. There's the Mystic Shot. Teleport immediately to try and catch Kingen, looking to take this turret. He may actually still just take it. There are a lot of minions, and there it goes.
5 grubs.
Yeah, that'll do it. Rift Herald now going to be thrown down in the mid lane, as there's bullet time. Not going to be enough to take down aiming. He had Arcane Shift, and so he will be all right. As Lucid does at least secure his blue buff here on their side of the map. Big flash forward as it again. We have the Wild Growth. Let's see whether Gideon can actually survive, and this time he'll have to use his flash, but he will live. Tempered Fate coming on through here, as Lehens continuing to take a lot of damage, as Shiu is so scary, but the bullet time, he soaks the entire thing and has to get out. Kingen, in the meantime, is just cutting down turrets on the other side of the map.
I mean, D+ are trying to force, they're not finding success, and they're just losing in the side lane as this goes on.
Whether it's necessarily worth throwing your life away for, but he's still going to walk on in, see what he can get done. That is going to be Gideon locking it down, though. No real response. Now Lucid gets in as best he can. It's a Cloud Soul, but Kingen starting up the Public Execution, and Beryl going to be the first one to go down as a response. There's a decent Impale, though, and it's the stolen one. It's so good.
A Veil, and now you lose a Dragon, you lose the fight. You're going to lose the Arakan as well. They can even delay this a little bit so it overlaps with the Baron.
There goes the Arakan. So Gideon going to be locking that one. And now they're not going to be able to do that. I feel like this huge bounty is going to be difficult to find. Still, they're going to stun him up. Let's see whether Gideon is going to be able to get out of this one. Bullet time. Can that be broken there as Shiu looking for Jiwoo, as there is the recall. And Kingen dashing around the fight. Nongshim, no need to overinvest. They've got Calix on the top side just taking an inner turret. And Nongshim just have the answers to everything.
They get the recall for Gideon. They don't get that gold shutdown. They don't get that bounty.
Yep.
And it just feels like Nongshim are playing the map so much better right now.
Yep, Public Execution not going to get Kingen out of here, but it's still just Kingen taking a bit of a rest back in base. And Nongshim are going to rotate down. The rest of DK coming up. See what they can actually find here. Cosmic Binding needed to hit their barrel, as Jiu in an awkward spot, but still standing his ground against aiming. That is still going to be $200 going over to Shiu. As Calix, the next one on the menu, some needlework coming out, as the polymorph onto Lucid's pretty cute. Still, the crash comes in, and there's the explosion of damage. Another recall, another Voracious Arakan being a little bit awkward, as Gideon doesn't have an extra life, but he does have a lot of his own health. The side lane. Calix is just here taking an inhibitor turret, and that will go down. It will be responded with by the first Cloud Drake of the game going over to DK.
Oh, that's a TP flank.
Oh god. Kingin has him where he wants him as there's the public execution onto Beryl. He's likely just dead, and that is indeed true. As the Impale goes entirely wide. Gideon now in a little bit of trouble here is on the side lane. Calyx has found Showmaker, and I don't think Showmaker's doing anything about it. He'll slow him up for a little bit. But then, oh, actually, he's got a lot of movement speed, guys. Never mind, he's dead. As Calyx is able to lock that one down with the passive spin.
On it, not having the impact he wanted in this game. And now Nongshim will easily pick up this Baron.
Oh, well, that's going to be annoying. True shot barrage. Oh god, that was way too close. That was
What is side lane?
What does this game mean? It's okay. There's an Impale! Oh no! Lucid getting a taste of his own medicine here as he's now trying to get out, but now it is lilting time, ladies and gentlemen. Beryl is going to get knocked up and destroyed, although he survives for a little bit longer than we expect. There is Lucid going down, and Aiming's like, yeah, nah, can't help you there. And that is going to be exactly right as DK trying to defend this, but instead it's Kingin starting up the fight. The Ambessa, I think, is going to get her first win against this Gwen. You never take him down a 7th time in a row in this top lane matchup. And even though he died in the 1v1, it does not matter as DK looking to try and defend their Nexus turrets, and Nongshim looking to just say no. The Nexus turret's going down so incredibly fast, and Nongshim will put themselves right up at the top. They are heading towards Legend Group. That's what it feels like here.